Welcome back to Travis Teaches Guitar. This is beginner guitar lesson number 3, and I am your relationship counselor for this instrument. And in the last lesson, I taught you about the A chord. In the lesson before that, I taught you about the E chord. Today, I'm going to introduce you to another chord, and that's going to be the D chord. But first, just to reiterate what a chord is. A chord is just a group of notes either played together, generally, like this, or in the sense of E and A. That is a chord, okay? If you are really unfamiliar with it, I insist that you go back to the first lesson in this series and start from there rather than trying to start from here. You're welcome to watch on through. Give it a like. If this information helps you, if you're already here, that's fine. But if you're confused by anything I say, whatever I'm covering here is in previous lessons. So just go back to the beginning of the playlist and have a look, and you'll be all caught up on this. So, before, also, I admonished you to get familiar with these notes in the first position, which is to say, the first position is up to here, which is basically, as far as your fingers will stretch, you can stretch a little further here. This is called first position, all the way across the neck here. So I admonished you to learn, or at least familiarize yourself with these notes on every string up to this fifth fret here. It's my first dot. Some guitars have a dot here on the third, these position markers. So you should already know E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, B, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. You should know these, or at least be familiar with them, because I'm going to be telling you these things in the sense of notes, not numbers. You know, I may say a number sometimes, but generally I'm referring to notes, because you should be familiar with how a chord or the music is made up. So it's just as easy to know in a sense of music as it is to have a shortcut using numbers. So I'm going to speak to you in music terms. The E was made up of E, B, E, and G sharp. A is made up of A, E, A, and C sharp. D is a little bit stranger from this pattern, right? And these are very similar in fingerings. They're covering the same fret basically. E has got your finger up here on the G sharp. D is kind of an oddball, and sometimes people have a little bit of a stumble with this, but it's nothing. It's just something new, and don't be scared of it. Your first note in this chord is going to be your D, your open D. Your first finger is going to go on the A. Your middle finger, your ring finger rather, is going to go on the D on your B string, which is the third. And then your second finger is going to go on the F sharp, which is fretted on the second. It's the second note on the E string, the high E string, string number 1. So it looks something like this. So you've got D, A, D, and F sharp. Go through this nice and make it pretty. Make all these chords pretty, okay? Go through them one at a time. Nice and pretty like that. Make pretty music. Don't make crap, for lack of a better term. Always strive to make yourself sound as good as you would want to hear other people play. It's no different, really. It's your own expectation. No one wants to go hear someone play out of time, out of tune, or have rattly chords or any of that. Nobody wants to hear that, so don't be that guy. All right. Let's start with a simple strumming pattern. I use this pick It's a thumb pick. It goes on my thumb because I play with my fingers. That's just how I play. Most of my guitar heroes this is what they use. So I started out using a flat pick, and I can use this in a way that's similar to a flat pick. If you're holding your pick just like this, whether you're using a thumb pick or you're using it like this, you're still holding it the same way, with your finger tucked and your thumb basically facing out, and this, the pointy part of your pick is pointing in towards your gut, which should be relaxed. Your shoulders should not be tensed up. When you're fretting the chord, your fingers should not be sticking straight out like this. Just tension. Allow when your weight falls with your elbow to help you in fretting this chord. Depending on your guitar, this shouldn't be too hard, but if your fingers are tender yet and you haven't been practicing, you should be practicing, but if you're not, your fingers will tend to get sore if you try to hang on to a chord too long, because you are pressing down on metal. So give yourself a break and don't press down so hard. Press down just enough. Get to know your guitar and the pressure that you need to use in order to fret chords and make them sound pretty. Okay? I'm going to use a metronome to demonstrate. I have this set. I've showed you this before. I have it set to 80, the tempo, in quarter notes, which means it's one time every beat is going to be something, right? So 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll start with A. 3, 4. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on and so forth. It's that simple. When you're strumming, when you're gliding across the strings, gliding, not digging into it, because you'll find it and your chord will sound. Don't do that. Glide. Have a little bit of finesse and glide like you're a ballerina gliding across the ice on these strings. Your arm is resting up here, right? Let it be loose. It's just going in an arc. Slightly tilted up towards my face on the down. When you start to come up, let it be basically one sound. Tilted slightly down. Let's try that with the metronome. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap your foot as well while the metronome's going. 2, 3, 4. It's gentle. When you get comfortable with this, I recommend don't leave this until you're comfortable. Get comfortable with it. Try to switch the chord without breaking this time. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This pattern is a familiar pattern that you'll find in a lot of Western music. It's called the 1-4-5 pattern, because I'll go more into depth later, but for now, just understand it as that. It's a 1-4-5, and it sounds familiar, and your ear is already trained to expect certain things out of music, whether you realize it or not. So this pattern here, like here's a song called Wild Thing in this. You could literally come up with, hundreds, if not thousands of songs either in that key, or you could change them to be in that key and follow that same pattern. And literally thousands, overnight. And so if you knew the lyrics, you could But you want to obviously learn more chords than just 3 chords, but I'm just here to say that it is possible that you would know that many songs just by using 3 chords. People try to do it and get away with it. Don't be that guy. Okay? So the key thing in here is to be delicate. Not delicate, I wouldn't say, but graceful. Be graceful. And use the minimal effort in fretting the chord, and also because your arm will get tired. If you have a bunch of tension built up when you're doing this, you know, it can get rough because your arm will get tired. And if you're trying to play, you know, a 15-minute song like Stairway to Heaven, and that's what you're doing, you're going to get wore out. And when you start to get wore out, your timing is going to suffer. Therefore, the quality of the song goes down. You don't want that because there really is no reason to get tired. Be very mindful always of the tension that you have built up in your body, whether it's in your fingers, whether it's in your cheeks, grinding your teeth, your pillow as hard as a rock, your arm, you know, your shoulders are tensed, your feet are tensed up. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that happen, you know, when you're playing guitar and you're practicing and you don't realize. And then what you're doing is that you're practicing that stuff into your body, and soon it will begin to think that that's normal. It's not normal. It's relaxed. When you sit down and play guitar, just sit there for a few and feel what it feels like to be completely relaxed. Get your arms where they need to be and relax. It's that easy. Stay relaxed. That is important. Don't worry about speed. Worry about your accuracy, because with the accuracy, the speed will come. You want precision. Non-rattly chords. Go through them one at a time, like this. Fingerstyle, people, the same beat. Other people. When you get comfortable, move on and experiment a little bit, but stay in time. Obey. Keep your foot to keep you honest on this time. 2, 3, 4. And so on and so forth. The only rule is that you stick to the timing. You can play anything in between so long as it's in the time. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. You can do any manner of combinations of rhythms and things within a timing. I admonish you to fool around with that. Experiment. Have fun with it, because it's really, in the end, it's about fun. So, in closing, I want you to practice that. Always practice your beginning warm-up, as I showed you. Do that as a warm-up. Play some songs. Practice your rhythms. And next time we'll learn something different. If this information has been helpful, then please like and subscribe below. Leave a comment if you have any questions or you have any suggestions for something else. Smash that notification bell so you're able to see as I post more videos in this series and other series and other playlists, and for more help and tips on your guitaring greatness. All right? Keep practicing.